Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be working in my traveler's notebook. I'm going to be documenting Thanksgiving Day. I have loads of photos, and I really wanted to use this beautiful traveler's notebook paper from Kelly Perky. I thought it was perfect to add my journaling, especially that it said T is for thankful or something like that. So I thought it worked well. Now I went ahead and took it to my typewriter, added my journaling, and I'm gonna end up covering that star pattern paper on the left side with my journaling. But before I do that, I decided to grab the stamp set from Kelly Perky. It's called Around the Table. I'm going to stamp out the turkey, and I used some of my scrapbook.com ink pads for this. I love my scrapbook.com ink pads when I'm layering, just because the ink pads are numbered, so you can kind of start with 1 and then use 2 and 3 and all that good stuff. So in this case, I think I started at 2 and then decided to stamp the turkey in 3. I think. Anyways, I'm going to also be stamping with that Around the Table stamp set, and I think I end up stamping Around the Table with Family right next to my turkey. I stick that down and then stick down my journaling paper. Now, before I started recording, I had decided to use the strip of red because, like I said, I've chosen my pattern paper, and I found this strip of red paper in my stash, and it just worked really well. And I thought it would kind of help, shelf my photos. My photos were kind of like floating if I added all of those on one side of my spread. So I felt like I needed a little something, and that red strip really, really works. But even with my red strip, I still felt like it needed more, but I didn't want to add a lot of color. So I decided to use one of my glassine bags. This is probably from one of my Studio Calico kits. I'm trimming it down. I'm going to end up backing up my photos with my glassine bag as well. I do this a lot where you really don't need to add a lot of color to balance out everything, but just adding the glassine bag behind my photos, it really helped mute down everything. It's really odd, even though it doesn't have a color, if that makes sense, but I just like how it looks, and it adds a lot of texture to my spread. I'm going to bring back my photos because I wanted to add this turkey from my Kelly Perky Thanksgiving themed grab bag. This turkey is the bomb, you guys. It's from Friends, and you guys know how much I love Friends. So I decided to use it, but I'm just going to try to figure out where to add it. I end up moving around some of my photos, and I found the perfect spot. And once I like where it's at, I'm going to go ahead and stick down my photos and stick down that adorable turkey. I'm so grateful that I have 2, so I used 1. I still have 1 left, and maybe I will use it in my project life this year. So because my layout is very photo heavy, I really don't want to end up adding too much embellishments, but I will use my stamps to create my own embellishments or my own word stickers or whatever the case is. So what I decided to do was grab that same stamp set, the one Around the Table stamp set, and I'm going to stamp a few phrases, a few sentiments, add them to my spread. I'll also grab another Kelly Perky stamp set. I can't even remember the name of that one. I think it's called Freshly Baked, and there was a few sentiments on there that just worked for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to end up using that as well. But back to my Around the Table, I'm going to end up stamping this little pot, adding that to one of my photos, just kind of creating my own embellishments using the stamp set. I stamp out a lot of things. A lot of them make it to my spread and a lot do not, and that's okay. That's what I love about stamping, that you can kind of play with the colors, create your own embellishments, and if they work, great, and if they don't, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna be doing that just to fill out some empty spots on my spread. One of the stamps on that stamp set said Family Recipe. I thought I was going to stamp it on some white cardstock, and you can see me here deciding that no, I'm going to stamp it directly on my spread just to change it up a little bit because I was stamping a lot on white cardstock, if that makes sense. So I just thought it would look better if I just stamped it directly on my spread. But I go back into my stamp set and start stamping on white cardstock, And this is where I actually grab that freshly baked stamp set and stamp a few sentiments, add it to my spread. And I believe that's about it. I really don't do much. I think I probably end up grabbing some embellishments, probably puffy hearts, and add them randomly around my photos and my journaling, and then I call my layout done. It was so easy to put together. I always find it easy to put spreads that are photo heavy together, just because there's so many photos and not enough space to add a lot of things, if that makes sense. So when you add all these photos, you don't have the space to be adding a lot of embellishing and layering, so your spread comes together much, much faster. Oh, and by the way, I just stamped It's Turkey Time from an older Kelly Perky stamp set. I don't believe this one's available anymore, but I believe the newer ones are, so I will be linking whatever I find down in the description box for you guys. But this is where I go through my puffy stickers. I'm going to grab a few puffy hearts and add them to my spread. I do change my mind a little bit and move them around, but I end up really, really liking how the spread came together. I was able to document 4 different photos from Thanksgiving, which is awesome. I always end up with a lot of photos from Thanksgiving. So basically these types of spreads work for me when I am documenting one occasion. Anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!